Hello, hello, and welcome, fellow Wastelanders, back to the Curio. I'm your companion for today, CoryTheCurator, here to navigate the ruins of an alternate universe's civilization and the relics of their pop culture, and how it's influencing our world, forever changed by atomic dreams and nightmares. The next great work of the year, today's curation, Fallout 2024, is a beacon in the desolate landscape of this year's entertainment. The amazing trailer for this Amazon show just dropped, and it looks to be anything but basic. This thing has landed with the impact of power armor running out of nuke juice. Or more realistically, one of those Amazon delivery drones. So get locked and loaded on guns and drugs, folks. We're stepping out of the vault and into the fray. The Fallout franchise's universe, renowned for its post-apocalyptic atomic age Earth setting, rich lore, and the blend of dark humor with serious themes, has been a staple of video game culture since the 1990s. It offers a retro-futuristic vision of America after a nuclear war, exploring themes of survival, society reconstruction, and the impact of technology on humanity. It's more than a game series, it's an immersive satirical mirror held up to our society, dripping with moral dilemmas and socio-political commentary. In the beginning, Fallout was simply envisioned through the lens of GURPS, G-U-R-P-S, Steve Jackson Games' tabletop role-playing engine in the mid-90s. But fate had other plans. It is rumored that hyperviolence, a cornerstone of Fallout, clashed with GURPS' vision at the time, prompting Tim Kaine and Christopher Taylor to forge a new path with the Special system, a character customization scheme now synonymous with the series itself. Special, strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck became the framework of our Vault Dwellers' playstyle and identity. Born from necessity, as the game was taken from GURPS to its own engine for video game adaptation, it evolved into the trademark backbone of Fallout's character-driven stories. Pegged as a spiritual successor to Wasteland, another alt-history post-apocalyptic game series. And there's the cover art for Wasteland. Here we go. Vault 13 before it was called Fallout.
Vault 13.
And you can still find like bootleg guides for like role-playing this, and there are like small similarities with like the names and characters and stuff in the original tabletop role-playing game. So the aesthetic of Fallout is very like turn of the century 40s and 60s. It's set in an alternate universe, with an alternate history. There are lots of divergences in the timeline, including a higher regard and success rate of the inventions of Tesla rather than Edison. While the main divergence apparently is the field point transistor not being invented in 1947. So computers are still big. Everything is still based on like tube technology, vacuum tubes rather than transistors, and so computers, machines never really shrank. So the aesthetic of Fallout is very like turn of the century 40s and 60s look and style. I think a lot of it is like what conservatives think the 50s were like, because
Right.
It's like the 50s, but there isn't segregation and there isn't like a whole lot of that kind of social unrest, and there's a lot of patriotism. But it's also the atomic age. We're living in an age where World War II went differently. They're not very specific on exactly how it went down, but we know it was similar, but in a way where I guess America got more power, and again, the technology is different. It's very influenced by Marvel Comics' golden age, with the concept of nuclear radiation mutations being like enhancements. It was also very influenced by Forbidden Planet, was a big influence of one of many, and we're going to get into a few. But if you look at specifically like this design here, with that robot, even some of the robots in Fallout look like that.
100%. Yeah, a lot of the robots look just like that.
Yeah, Forbidden Planet, Dr. Strangelove with the ideas of like Project Paperclip and mutual assured destruction.
Oh, absolutely.
And then a big one, and you actually see this phrase tossed around a lot, but Worlds of Tomorrow was another one. Oh, that's funny. It brings up Futurama. Which there are like little references to Futurama too, especially in Fallout 4. Worlds of Tomorrow, it was like a magazine with like short stories and comics in it and stuff of the 50s and 60s. The Jetsons, and then going back to GURPS, like GURPS Atomic Horror, which again is drawing from a lot of the same influences too. And then I know my boy AC, Mad Max with its post-apocalyptic medieval looks.
Oh yeah, now that aesthetic is one of my absolute favorites.
You don't see as much car stuff, but as far as like the destruction, again, the medieval, the post-apocalyptic medieval look. What's that other one? The Road. The Road. There's a little bit of like that in some of the newer ones, and I think The Road was also maybe influenced by Fallout a little bit too.
The Road is based off of a book.
Oh, right. So yeah, it probably was The Postman with
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, one of a couple of Costner ones on here too, because I also have written down Waterworld was too. Wasn't that Costner?
He really got into some post-apocalyptic stuff.
Mm-hmm. And this, especially with like the patriotism. Like you can see where maybe both the NCR, the National California Republic, as well as the militia from Fallout 4 are both influenced very much by the Postman. This one is a new one to me, but I now want to look into these movies. Pierre Jeunet made a few movies that are the first couple are influential on Fallout, but they're The City of Lost Children. Now these are French, but look at that like style.
Oh right, yep.
Look who it is.
Ron Perlman looks like.
Yeah. And so it's more fantastical, but with like the idea of kind of like this, there's some steampunk bits, there are bits of like cyberpunk and steampunk and Fallout. And again, that's what makes Fallout so amazing, is it's not just one look. There are all these different aesthetics and all these, and they all have a reason for why they are the way that they are. And then this one too, which is based in the same kind of world, Delicatessen, and so it's like this again, like very kind of Fallout-y kind of like family, but I think they're like butchers, and you find out they're like cannibals or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the cannibal thing.
And then lastly, on like major influences is another GURPS book of so it's like D&D, where there are these books that have like your factions and your powers and your props and whatnot. So this one is kind of more, it's Lovecraftian a bit. but it's also like it's got a lot of scientist, like mad scientist shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of like corporate espionage and corporate corruption and stuff. It's not post-apocalyptic, but you can see in it where they're like government, corporate, scientific corruption. Bits of GURPS Illuminati, like specifically influenced the Enclave, Vault Tech, Nuka-Cola, Hallucinogen, the company, the drug company in Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like again, like they owe some credit to like these books as like influencing Illuminati, the game of conspiracy. So I think it's very like kind of like Illuminatus, like those books, but you know, you're playing in them. Other influences like these include Googie architecture, other films like Street Trash, The Warriors, Escape from New York, Escape from LA, and works like James Bond, those of Lovecraft, Stephen King, Isaac Asimov, and Philip K. Dick, particularly the film Blade Runner. It is all coalesced into an aesthetic that has been named atom punk or atomic punk.
Absolutely.
And, you know, they use these worlds again. It all has a function. It's all satire of socio-political, subcultural, or pop cultural figures in a way of giving the player moral quandaries. Those are big in Fallout, or these moral challenges. Like, how much of a piece of shit are you going to be at the end of the world?
Yeah. And then, of course, there's consequences both ways.
The factions in this alternate universe also mirror the issues that face America and globalization today, the seeds of which were sown in the mid-20th century, post-World War stage of history. We're still dealing with the outcomes of those treaties and such that were formed at the time, and those organizations like the UN and NATO and what have you. But all of this is most evident in the factions of Fallout. Starting with the Vault Tech Corporation, corporate malfeasance symbolizing unethical scientific experimentation and corporate overreach, akin to historical instances of unregulated corporate experiments on unknowing populations. The Brotherhood of Steel, analogous to technocratic militarism, emphasizing strict hierarchical military governance combined with a reverence for technology akin to a blend of historical knightly orders and modern technocratic elites. Back to the Enclave, it resembles post-war American exceptionalism, or a dictatorial regime with fascist undertones, envisioning themselves as the legitimate continuation of the U.S. government, emphasizing purity, control, and a strong central authority. The New California Republic resembles democratic federalism, representing an attempt to rebuild America with democratic ideals in a federalist government structure, echoing the early stages of the United States or other democratic nations. And you see these sorts of attempts pop up throughout the game franchise. Back to a darker thing, we've got Caesar's Legion, totalitarianism with historical Roman imperialism, a dictatorial regime that enforces a rigid social hierarchy, slavery, and militarism, drawing direct inspiration from the Roman Empire itself. The Institute, techno-utopianism, or scientific elitism, operating with the belief in science and technology as the means to achieve a superior society, at times echoing the ethos of Silicon Valley's most utopian visions or a shadowy corporate entities in cyberpunk fiction. On the note of the Silicon Valley influences, you can see this with the father being this founder figure like a Steve Jobs. The railroad is an underground resistance movement drawing parallels with historical abolitionist movements and modern human rights organizations emphasizing secrecy and the liberation of oppressed individuals. However, when you see these groups become too extreme, they start resorting to things like terrorism. The Minutemen, a militia of self-governance, reflective of citizen militias and community self-defense organizations emphasizing grassroots governance and the right to self-determination. And you also see philanthropic attempts with the Minutemen, where they try to help out other groups in return for them joining their movement. Honestly, how it should be done. And then the Children of Atom, a doomsday cult representing extreme religious sects that worship post-apocalyptic phenomena akin to real-world cults with apocalyptic beliefs, even when they become self-destructive. The Raiders are anarchic survivalists, embodying lawlessness and survival of the fittest, similar to pirate societies or warlord-led regions in failed states. And then the super mutants and their unity embody eugenics and supremacy, with the Masters' unity mirroring dark aspects of eugenics movements and ideologies that prioritize genetic purity or superiority. To us, it seems like they're like monsters, but to them, they see themselves as these bigger, more powerful things and see us as these puny cattle. And then a fun one, the Atom Cats. With the 1950s car culture and rebellion, that kind of happy days version of punk, emphasizing a subculture centered around customization, freedom, and a rejection of post-war societal norms, echoing real-world greasers and hot rod culture. And in this pastiche of society, pop culture, and political figures, where moral quandaries are as common as bottle caps, we are forced to confront our values. Factions, resources, and the very essence of humanity are in constant negotiation, defining not just missions, but who survives. As we've embraced this journey from Vault 13 to the farthest reaches of the Wasteland, it's clear Fallout is more than a game. It's reflection, a warning, a question, an episode of the Twilight Zone posed about our future, wrapped in the anachronistic aesthetics of a world that might have been. The first Fallout computer game carved out its niche in '97, inviting us to don the jumpsuit of a vault dweller, tasked with a seemingly simple yet fate-defining mission: to fix the water filter. A journey that would unfurl the vast irradiated wasteland of America for both the character and the player. This is revealed to be some 100 years after the bombs dropped in 2077. In the cataclysmic landscape of October 23rd, 2077, we take a look to the orchestrated chaos that marked the beginning of the end for civilization as we know it. A day so profound that the ramifications reverberate through time and digital memory alike. Pieces of these events revealed to players within the many computer terminals found about the wastes. This narrative unfolds a chilling sequence of events, each timestamp a harbinger of doom, sketching the final hours of the old world in the lore of Fallout, a world somehow still teetering on the brink of annihilation. The following events play out throughout the final day of the Great War and the first day of the rest of humanity's existence. Before dawn even breaks, the unsettling calm is shattered. 12:03 a.m. sees the U.S. Pacific Fleet commander detecting 3 unidentified submerged objects near California, a prelude to chaos. By 3:37 a.m., the specter of war looms larger with the sighting of a squadron off the Bering Strait. The morning sun rises not to hope, but to a countdown to oblivion. 9:13 a.m. marks the detection of 4 nuclear launches, spiraling DEFCON to 2. It's a race against time as the National Guard and National Catastrophe Release Auxiliary scramble to mobilize evacuation and relief efforts. A poignant effort in the shadow of impending doom. Merely minutes later, at 9:17 a.m., NORAD's confirmation of Chinese nuclear missiles launches sends DEFCON to level 1. Decisive action is taken at 9:26 a.m. with the U.S. President ordering nuclear response scenario MXCN-91, a decision made as the Fallout 4 prologue ominously begins. 9:42 a.m. marks the first nuclear missiles striking Pennsylvania and New York, with the West Coast soon to follow. The spread of terror reaches Washington, D.C., prompting a desperate dash for fallout shelters. At 9:47:51 a.m., it's as if time itself pauses to mourn forevermore. The entire United States is engulfed in nuclear firestorms, decimating human civilization within 2 brief hours. In this apocalyptic ballet, other nations launch their own arsenals, erasing entire cities, populations, and military units from existence. The aftermath creates a global cycle of loss and survival. Vault 111 seals its inhabitants in cryonic suspension, including the sole survivor of Fallout 4 and their family, encapsulating them in a frozen moment of terror. Las Vegas stands as a beacon of improbable survival, shielded by Robert House's ingenuity, while the sinister Sierra Madre seals up its guests in a deathly embrace, a gala-turned-massacre revealed in the events of New Vegas. Up until Fallout 3's Mothership Zeta DLC, the fandom is not sure if the entire planet is devastated, but gaining a look at the planet from space, one sees that the entire planet is mostly desert, nuclear winter, or ash. And you can get a hint there with the Earth, and I think a lot of us thought it was like the moon or something at first, because you think that maybe it's just America devastated, and maybe there are other parts of the planet that are not.
The whole planet.
The only ones that we know remain untouched by radiation are the few arguably successful vaults, like 13, the origins of the Vault Dweller in the first game, and then 8 in the second, both in the Southwest. And then there is 101, that Vault Dweller of the third game, located in Washington, D.C. 76 in Southwest Virginia, the place of origin for Vault Dwellers in the online game Fallout 76, and now Vault 33 in the new TV series. Oh, and I think the Enclave had vaults as well, but I wouldn't really count them as any hopes of survival. Venturing further into the atomic wasteland, we uncover the history of a world that veered off into an alternate timeline long before the Great War. What we would see as a futuristic World War III scenario. A universe where nuclear fission reached its full potential, eventually electrifying the nation with a success unseen in our reality. Yet it's the absence of the transistor in 1947 that is claimed to be the major divergence which sculpted the Fallout universe into its unique form, as there is not mention of this crucial digital device until 2023, according to a computer terminal in the Cabot house in Fallout 4. Thus, the digital age never dawns, and computing is always done with gigantic supercomputers using this vacuum tube technology and batteries that went nuclear rather than lithium. And so televisions, computers, and data storage devices are all stuck in the mid-20th century level technology, while other developments continued on a different trajectory, like instant cameras, androids, phones, internet, and even plastics. In this realm, the technology and aesthetics is crystallized there, or at least there was a return to a 1940s to 1960s vision of tomorrow by the time of the Great War in the 2070s, untouched by any digital revolution, where nuclear family ideals meet nuclear fallout reality. And I can't talk about Fallout without talking about what it means to me, which my passion for this game is deeply embedded in the kind of game it is itself. An immersive, create your own character, choose your own adventure, open world sandbox. And this originates in my love for Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, a Bethesda title that changed my understanding of what a video game could be. Morrowind spoils you, like, if you get a hold of that game when you're like 11 or 12, because then you want every game to be like that. You want every game to be like, I want to go around, do my own thing. Because I remember, in the GameCube games, that I don't know if you were ever around, but anytime I was playing like that Superman game, I liked Mario Sunshine because you could walk around and go different places in it. But remember, I would say about like Superman, like, why can't I go over there to that thing? Why can't I go over to I want to be able to go over there and do my own thing. I don't want to have to go on. Also like the James Bond games. Most of them, you had to just go on a set path, and it's like, but what if I want to go over here and do that thing? What's the point of this if the whole thing is me just on a set path and just going down? It's like the option between a train, staying on a rail, and being in a car and just being able to go wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah. It gives you a different role in the game.
And when they acquired the property and made Fallout 3, I started out skeptical, but my cousin AC convinced me to try it. Being a big Batman fan, he used the draw of Liam Neeson's cameo in the game, who plays the protagonist's father.
Come on over here, son. Come on. Walk to daddy.
This was at the height of like Batman Begins popularity, and you're like, and Liam Neeson does a voice in it. Yeah. Yeah, we lacked experience with 1 and 2 in tactics, and I try to go back and play them. I still have like on some thumb drives around here, like you can go out and just download the game now, like on Steam and shit. And they're great, but it's just so different. It's not as 3D, and it's
also like it's God's eye view, and it's a shooter more so than like Fallout 3. It's literally it's create your own character, build your own world.
I was eventually brought to the Commonwealth in Fallout 4, where I made a character based on myself and took the moral decisions in that game very seriously. I also might have been under the influence of a lot of hallucinogens at the time. And I chose the Institute. There's a big moral quandary in that game, and that's where I stood, drawn to their shadowy allure of progress at any cost. It was a choice of isolationist, elitist utopia over chaos.
Communists detected on American soil.
Controversial? Perhaps. But in the Wasteland, morality is as fluid as the irradiated creeks that are left. My history with Bethesda games extends beyond mere gameplay. It's a journey of discovery, challenge, and introspection. My love for Elder Scrolls revealed an untapped appetite for expansive living worlds, but it was the Fallout series that tested my moral compass amidst the ashes of civilization with a very real threat. Despite not venturing into the lands of Fallout 1, 2, or Tactics, the transition to Fallout 3 marked the beginning of a religious experience that peaked with Fallout 4. There I embraced the Institute's vision, a choice reflecting my penchant for underhanded tactics and a survival strategy that might be best to be described as stealthy, maximalist, and, admittedly, somewhat cowardly. In this world, I found myself gravitating towards the shadows, sneaking around and hoarding resources and advancing the cause of humanity as I saw fit, even if it meant siding with what many would call a different kind of fascism than the Brotherhood, or avoiding the radicalism of the Railroad. And then there was Fallout 76, set in the base of Appalachia, my own backyard, evoking a bittersweet admiration for its ambitious, yet flawed attempt to bring the Wasteland home. Fallout for me is such a solitary thing that it was hard for me to work with other people and their attitudes and their play styles. I just, maybe much like D&D, I just haven't found the right group of people or the right, it's hard to find a good dungeon master in that. But, I like that it was the base of Appalachia, my own backyard, and like the little nods to like my area in that game, and it was cool. But again, bittersweet because there were things I didn't like about it. I finished the main quest way too quick, and then I was just like, oh, there's all this like busy work and stuff you can do with other people, and I'm just like, I got what I wanted out of it.
Yeah.
Diving into the essence of what Fallout means to me, it's impossible to ignore the rich socio-political messaging interwoven with the fabric of its universe. Fallout stands as a cautionary tale of nuclear devastation, as well as other horrors like trauma, pollution, climate change, and war. It's a stark reminder of the razor-thin line between our world and one where the skies are forever darkened by the shadows of the mushroom clouds. In this world, morality isn't black and white. It's as gray as nuclear snow. The factions, each with their own dogmas, the alternative history that mirrors our own societal follies, and the choices I've navigated through these narratives present a complex maze of moral and philosophical challenges. From my alignment with the Institute, embodying a blend of isolationist, elitist, and scientific utilitarianism, to my stealthy, self-preserving tactics in the face of the Wasteland's harsh realities, Fallout has been a mirror to my own moral compass, constantly in flux amidst the ruins of what was once humanity all around me. The Brotherhood's militant fascism, the Railroad's radical terroristic zeal, and the Enclave's shadowy machinations. Each faction not only contributes to the rich lore of the Fallout universe, but also serves a reflection of real-world ideologies and the consequences of their extreme implementations. These are not just groups vying for power in a post-apocalyptic landscape. They are emblematic of the ongoing struggle within humanity to define what it means to be just, to be right, to be human. And I don't jive with all that. Oh, look, I even got I made sure to keep it on. I got my Tesla. This ain't for fucking the cars Tesla, This is, what you're seeing right there is the origins of the Death Claw.
The Death Claw.
This is from Tesla Science Magazine. It has nothing to do with Elon Musk or his companies. This is an in Fallout universe magazine, and it has an entry on gamma radiation in geckos. The key to prolonged life? But this is actually the origins of the Death Claw. So now on to the main event, what brought me here to make this video, the Fallout TV series. Today's relic is not a game, and it's not a relic, but a vision reborn on screen. The trailer, a masterpiece of Wasteland aesthetics, promising a tale woven from the threads of Fallout 1, or Fallout 1997, rich with the essence of vault life crises and the Wasteland wanderlust. With its transition to television or streaming, there's a lot of potentials for the series to expand its narrative scope and delve deeper into its world building, characters, and iconic elements like Vault Tech, the Pip-Boy, and the various factions that have emerged in the Wasteland. Given the series' background, a TV adaptation could play up the stark contrast between the utopian ideals of the pre-war world and the gritty reality of the post-apocalyptic landscape, all while maintaining the game's signature mix of dark comedy, moral ambiguity, and human drama. While most video game adaptations upset both general audiences and fans, recent television adaptations of niche franchises with their looser studio involvement, production by fans themselves, and just the breadth of space that the medium of streaming television allows to tell stories and establish styles have been rather successful. Like The Last of Us, The Witcher, and Halo. It's impossible not to mention the direction of Nolan and Joy, who seem to really love the franchise as a whole and its installments, with claims of first-hand play, knowledge, experience, and interviews. The Fallout TV series, developed by Westworld creators Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy for Amazon Prime Video, bring with it the promise of merging the Fallout universe's rich narrative depth and aesthetics with the thematic and stylistic strengths evident in Westworld. Their previous work, characterized by exploring complex narratives around artificial consciousness, robotics, and moral ambiguity within a technologically advanced yet aesthetically mid-century universe, suggests that they have the ideal background to adapt Fallout's post-apocalyptic world with its own unique blend of retro-futurism and ethical dilemmas. Their work on Westworld directly pulled from Fallout and its influences at the time, though they're eventually tinged with more cyberpunk hues in the later seasons. The dance between host and synth, the layers of science fiction, it's clear they've nailed it. In Westworld, Nolan and Joy masterfully explore themes of identity, consciousness, and the consequences of technological advancement, utilizing a mix of futuristic and mid-century modern aesthetics to create a visually stunning, thought-provoking narrative for the first couple of seasons. I love the show as a whole, but people seem to have dropped off. This nuanced storytelling approach, combined with their love for the Fallout franchise's depth and its own retro-futuristic aesthetic, positions them perfectly to adapt the series to television. Their expertise in weaving complex narratives around AI, coupled with Fallout's focus on post-nuclear survival, ethical dilemmas, and societal reconstruction, promises a richly layered adaptation that respects the original games while exploring new stories. While they may not touch on these issues this season, as we'll get into later, I predict that they definitely will tackle things like AI and robotics in future installations. The casting is perfect, first of all. Walton Goggins as this actor Cooper Howard, named after Todd Howard, perhaps? / the Ghoul, is perfect. Like a badass version of that Vault Tech salesman from Fallout 4 who has a similar downfall to the one that we see happen to Cooper in the trailer. Aaron Moten as Maximus, who is actually a legendary paladin lord from Fallout Tactics. And in this is a squire, so it's a prequel of sorts. Aaron Moten's portrayal of Maximus, a squire of the Brotherhood of Steel, introduces a morally gray character that perfectly encapsulates the faction's rigid yet protective ideology. His presence hints at the nuanced exploration of heroism and the cost of a militaristic approach to survival. And then you got Ella Purnell as Lucy of Vault 33. An occult number? Numbers usually mean something in Fallout. Additionally, Vault 33 hasn't been used yet in the universe, and with the inclusion of the characters and settings from the games that we're seeing, I think this whole show could be 100% canon to the franchise, to the series. Or at least the games are canon to this show's universe. And those all seem to be our protagonists in the series. Dale Dickey is a shop proprietor in Philly, a junkyard-like village built from scrap in the remnants of greater Los Angeles in 2296, located near Santa Monica, adds just the right touch of authenticity and depth to this envisioned world. I just love that casting of Dale Dickey, the day hooker from My Name is Earl, in this hilarious role. And, the Philly kind of, is reminiscent of like Junktown or Megaton. And Dale Dickey's character is, not in personality, but just in role, seems to mirror the shopkeeper in Fallout 3 in Megaton.
Holy shit, you're an actual vault dweller.
I am.
I thought all you dipshits were dead.
You're that stray from the vault. Oh, I haven't seen one of you for years. I run Craterside Supply.
We even see Lucy walk out of what seems to be that shop in the survivor armor. And then we've Michael Emerson, forever imprinted in my mind as Benjamin Linus from Lost, brings to life Wiltzig, a seemingly scientist character who uses bionics. So I'm sensing definitely a deeper connection to the Institute, possibly positioning this enigmatic organization as a looming threat either at the end of this season or in the next season. I welcome this cast of avatars for our journey into these wastelands of Southern California. It seems to me from the trailer that our protagonist, Lucy, emerges from the vault after some sort of emergency, whether it's a water emergency or a social meltdown to fix the problem or find the source of the issue. A journey that promises the quintessential Fallout adventure. We see two different vaults in the trailer. One is the one that Cooper Howard is filming a commercial in, and one of them is Lucy's, and there are some events in a vault, but we're not sure which vault that's happening in the trailer. So she is eventually protected and accompanied by Maximus of the Brotherhood after being trailed and hunted by Cooper Howard, who was reportedly a bounty hunting ghoul with a gunslinger's past, seemingly. The aesthetic, the style, the design, the cast of characters, it's all there, but what truly excites me is this story's roots in Fallout 1997. This brings me to my Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds theory. It's fascinating to consider the tradition within the Fallout series of a player basing their character on a blend of inspiration, muse, existing intellectual properties that they're fans of, or original creations, or even just aspects of themselves. There's always a basis for the character. Our main character in this series, named Lucy, seems to be the latest embodiment of one of these traditions, with perhaps water filtration possibly being part of her mission, saving the vault, involving clean water, which is a rarity in the waste itself. It always comes up in the games. You drink dirty water, you're going to get irradiated. Dirty water, you're going to get diseases or whatever. You're always trying to get clean water. And when you finally get like a settlement or something that's constantly pumping out clean water, I mean, it's better than caps, it's more valuable than caps. So, they clean water might as well be diamonds. It's hard for me not to draw parallels with not just the song's imagery then, but also that idea of diamonds. Dense in carbon, representing something too precious and impractical for such a mundane task as filtration, much like how the ideal of a vault life contrasts sharply with the reality of the wastelands. I'm not sure they'll actually use the song or be too on the nose with it, but just from the trailer, we see Lucy literally ascending to the sky. But back to water filtration. There's a thing called diamond water filtration. Diamond water filtration is a term that I first encountered in the context of Crystal Head vodka, claiming to use diamonds in the filter to enhance the purity of water. This method suggests that an interaction between the water and these precious stones can somehow remove impurities more effectively than traditional filtration methods, leveraging the unique physical and chemical properties of diamonds. The idea that diamonds, being the hardest natural material, can provide a level of filtration at a microscopic level than that of other materials that cannot match. In the real world, the process of diamond water filtration would theoretically work by passing water through a layer or multiple layers of crushed diamonds. The concept hinges on the belief that the water molecules come into contact with the diamond surface. Any impurities or contaminants are trapped or altered, supposedly due to the diamond's molecular structure and possibly its purported vibrational energy. This is imagined to not only remove physical contaminants, but also to energize the water, changing its structure or properties in a beneficial way. Another aspect that this process could involve the use of diamonds to create a highly pressurized environment that aids in the breakdown of larger, more complex impurities, making them easier to filter out. Amidst the skepticism, there is an intriguing scientific foundation that partially redeems the concept of diamond water filtration, specifically through the lens of boron-doped diamond electrodes. However, the effectiveness of such a filtration system in removing impurities compared to, say, reverse osmosis or activated carbon filters remains scientifically unproven. The principles of diamond filtration often veer into the realms, as you can hear, into pseudoscience, with claims about restructuring water molecules or enhancing the water's energy, lacking robust empirical support. The physical properties of diamonds do not inherently suggest any unique filtration benefits that surpass that of more conventional and much less expensive materials. If anything, they're too dense for anything to get through them to filter anything out. In conclusion, while the idea of diamond water filtration, especially as popularized by luxury brands like Crystal Head Vodka, captures the imagination with its blend of opulence and science, it is likely more a feat of marketing genius than a revolutionary purification technology. The allure of diamonds and their association with purity and luxury and energy might make for compelling storytelling and brand differentiation. Still, the practical benefits of such a process beyond its novelty and appeal to luxury remain largely in the realm of science fiction. Furthermore, for vault dwellers, the overworld is virtually the sky, a bright, shining high place above them of both aspiration and unknown danger. Emerging into the blinding light of the wasteland for the first time, and every time, players and characters alike are introduced to a world that is at once above and utterly alien to the underground existence they've known below. And that concludes my Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds theory. So the idea is that if there's a water emergency, Lucy's being sent out above to the sky for some sort of filtration thing that uses that science fiction idea of diamond water filtration. It's kind of a wacky theory, I know, and I was ripped online for my immaculate conception of Ray theory. On to my other theories. There's no clear villain except the seemingly playful adversarial nature between Lucy and Cooper, but the shadows hint at the Unity, or the Enclave, or the Institute's machinations, or Vault-Tec. Maybe Vault-Tec's like the big bad. They think it's the big good, but it's the big bad at the end. The absence of super mutants in the trailer, though, only thickens the plot for me. So who will emerge from the Wasteland's mirage as our adversary this season? In the game of friend and foe that the Fallout universe crafts, and Walton Goggins, Ghoul, Cooper Howard, an actor character who beneath the surface may reveal a sad and sage-like companion rather than an arch foe. This dynamic sets a foundation for a story where the lines between ally and adversary are as blurred as the irradiated landscapes they traverse. The notable absence of super mutants, coupled with a devotion to the narrative essence of the first Fallout game, steers my speculation mostly towards the Unity, led by the Master Super Mutant, as potentially being the hidden antagonist of the season that we probably won't see till the finale. This theory is not only rooted in the franchise's lore, but also in the thematic dichotomy of unity versus division that pervades the series, and must be established from the beginning. The peculiar absence, though, of the Enclave, a faction synonymous with the old world government's remnants and its authoritarian aspirations, is as conspicuous as it is intriguing. Their known capabilities and historical significance within the Fallout universe make their omission a part of speculation and anticipation for their potential involvement in the narrative arc. Although I would put my money on Season 2. If the series is to directly model plot elements from the games chronologically, then this season it will be the Super Mutant Masters Unity. The next season it will be the Enclave. The third one it will be President John Henry Eden. And the fourth one will be the Institute. Or the Brotherhood, depending on where you stand. But something tells me they'll be blending these with narrative genius like we saw the crew do in Westworld. They're going to kind of be clever about it. There's going to be a bit of a pattern here. They're going to probably set everything up in these first episodes. But, everyone is already so jazzed that, I bet they're going to immediately get a Season 2 or something. They already... Amazon Prime got me back a month early. I went ahead and I'm like, all right, you got me back. Let me order some shit. And I was just right on it. So I turn you now to my Fallout playlists. They're gaming playlists on Spotify. Shuffle Safe. I'll embed the link here, but you can find it on my profile there. Cornelius Dude, all one word. I tired of the same old Fallout music a long time ago. The first few playthroughs, it's always good. But, I've got mad respect for Enon Zur, the Ink Spots, and all that Fallout radio skits and stuff. But it gets a little repetitive eventually. If you're playing it for a couple years. So I've always made these playlists and mixes based on concepts, movie ideas, and activities in my life. This one is one of my best, honestly, seriously. Go check these playlists out. It's got covers, albums, and singles that stretch across genres from metal to rock to country to classical to dubstep. And if you shuffle it, you got a playlist there that'll last you seriously. The first one, 24 hours. Second one, 20 hours. I have these gaming playlists that are meticulously curated collections that resonate with the game's turn of the century and post-apocalyptic themes. Each track and album sets the tone for Wandering the Wasteland with sounds that evoke the series' signature blends of hope, desolation, loneliness, the fight for survival, technology, war. This playlist would be perfect for fans to immerse themselves in the games with while they speculate about the new TV series. While we wind up for it, you know, I know everyone's turning back to it. I actually got back into Starfield, you know, because I still haven't finished that, and I can't go back to Fallout before. Also, they need to fix Fallout 4. Anytime I get a character past like level 70, I can't get into Boston without it just crashing. So please, Bethesda, you know, I mean, again, bittersweet, right? I use that word a few times, and there are reasons for that. Fallout 76, you know, I fucking ran out of things to do after the main story a month in, and you know, I mean, there's all these like mini games and stuff, and I tried playing with other people, but they're all like 10-year-olds, and it's annoying. Yeah, you know, and when I play, I like to be in character and shit. But again, yeah, this playlist includes a mix of hard rock, psychedelic, stoner rock, among other genres, evoking the gritty atmosphere of the universe. Perfect, again, for playing the game or, you know, just to get into the mood while driving or cleaning or gardening or working out. It's great for working out. Yeah, you know, some tracks have lyrics that resonate with the game's world, while others are instrumentals that set the tone through, you know, just vibe, you know. But if you look at the song names and the album names, and even, you know, I mean, I got like some, if you go into the second one, it gets a little, you know, there's like Nancy Sinatra on there and shit. But like covers of stuff that sound, you know, the covers sound like something out of like the 60s, but it's, you know, it's new and it's like fucking Wu-Tang lyrics or whatever. It's cool shit. This playlist embodies a journey through desolate landscapes, encounters with remnants of the past, technology run amok, fights for survival and identity in this post-apocalyptic world. The eclectic mix featuring artists from various genres mirrors those encounters and territories within the Fallout universe, from the haunting emptiness of abandoned cities to the fierce independence of wasteland desert communities, with tracks like Desert Cruiser by Truck Fighters and Waiting to Fall by Vague. Space evoke images of long, perilous treks across the wasteland, while songs like Jumpsuit by 21 Pilots, you know, there's some Main Street stuff on there, capture the adrenaline of combat and constant threat lurking around every corner, with the inclusion of HO 9909 or Hogog Horror. I don't know how you say their name, but they're very underground shit. You know, it's aggressive and rebellious rap rock that speaks to the anarchistic elements of the wasteland and society, where lawlessness reigns and survival often means defying the remnants of pre-war societal norms. This playlist not only serves as a background score to the Fallout gameplay experience, but also enriches the narrative depths, putting you in that immersive world where you are a survivor, providing a sonic texture that complements the visual and interactive elements of the franchise and its universe. Each track, with its unique vibe, contributes to the overarching themes of resilience, defiance, and the search for hope in a world that has seen the brink of annihilation. Last Sunrise in the Wasteland kicks off with a title that feels like a prophecy fulfilled, evoking imagery of a final serene moment before chaos descends. It's the perfect overture for the apocalypse. Lost Highway and Manhattan Project follow, their titles alone conjuring roads to nowhere and humanity's destructive pinnacle, respectively, mirroring the Fallout universe's themes of desolation and the haunting legacy of nuclear ambition and the roads they've left behind. The Glory of Man and Buzzards of Green Hill drop us into the thick of human condition and survival's predatory nature. They're like auditory companions to the game's explorations of societal collapse and fight to reclaim dignity amidst ruins. Wires, an electric machine, scream of the remnants of technology gone rogue, periling the series' rusted yet still humming tech on those nuclear batteries, while Red Tide Rising and Another One Bites the Dust metal version play like anthems for the ceaseless battles against mutants, raiders, and the environment itself. Eaten Dust, right after One Bites the Dust, caps off this segment perfectly, symbolizing the relentless struggling for resources in a world that both literally and is metaphorically dusty. Together, these tracks don't just complement the Fallout experience, they amplify those narratives, that world, immersing us deeper into this post-nuclear heart with every note. Gardenia by Caius and Aqua Maria by Color Haze, we're immersed in soundscapes that encapsulate the vast open deserts of the Mojave, full of danger and beauty. These songs are like the siren calls of the Wasteland, pulling wanderers deeper into its mysteries. The tracks from the Cramps. I got a couple Cramps albums on there because it just fits so well with their vintage punk vibe, screaming of anarchic spirit thriving in forgotten corners where the old world's remnants twist into something both familiar and alien. Electric Worry by Clutch, Stone the Crow by Down infuse bluesy hard rock grooves that could easily be anthems for the game's rugged survivors, embodying their defiance and resilience. Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats' Waiting for Blood oozes again with a sinister battle tone. It's perfect for those moments of shadowy, forgotten vaults where danger lurks around every corner. Got a couple Garys jumping on you while they're waiting for blood. The Black Angels and Brand New got some of their albums on there. Contribute tracks that mirror introspective journeys of Fallout's protagonists, struggles with morality, quest for redemption in a world that offers no easy answers and only bad men. Their music captures the soul-searching and grim determination to make a difference, even when the odds seem insurmountable. The albums by Bush and Black Sabbath display themes of war, Escape from Nebula M, Space Hunter, by Daikaiju, exploration of tech ruins and alien encounters. Radio Moscow's Brain Cycles brings in some psychedelia. Justice's audio, video, disco, and Planetsphere echo that futuristic yet retro vibe. Liquid Stranger keeps that going, featuring Pistol Gunslinger, bringing a dubstep twist to the gunfights and standoffs. You know, it's a backdrop to like a slow-mo VAT sequence. Can't wait to see that in the show. How are they going to do that? Is VATS going to be like some Matrix shit? Oh, they're going to do some Matrix bullet time shit with the VATS? That's what I always thought it would be like. The OCs contributes Smote Reverser, encapsulating that chaotic beauty with tracks like Sentient Una and Overthrown. And then you got some Tom Waits. I mean, come on, Tom Waits, regardless of what you think about him, that's good Wasteland music, especially Going Out West. It's an anthem for a rugged setting to claim their fortune in the unforgiving expanse of a desert, and domitable spirit for those who refuse to be broken by any world's end. The Shrine's Tripping Corpse, that handsome devil's elephant bones, channel the raw, gritty energy of survival, fighting against odds again, be it nature, mutant, or your own inner demons. Murder by Death's Last Night on Earth hauntingly beautiful reflection of the fragility of civilization and poignant moments of humanity found amidst the desolation, mirroring the game's deeper narrative threads. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard's nuclear fusion, along with Toxic Holocaust's Nuke the Cross, bringing a thrashing, relentless, metallic energy that captures that essence of the Fallout experience, surviving and thriving in a world that has seen the worst of humanity, yet still holds some beauty among those ashes. Exploring the ruins of the old world with Ghostland Observatory's tracks feels like being on a neon-lit dance floor with remnants of civilization as your backdrop. You found some hackers that found these old fucking lighting cubes and you're going to dance on them. The energy is electric, pulsating through the wreckage, invoking both that nostalgia and the push towards the unknown future. The Flaming Lips' Yoshimi battles the pink robots. Hello. The, what is it? The mechanist, the mechanic, the machinist, Fallout 4, the robot DLC. Anyway, parts 1 and 2 of this song inject a surreal, almost whimsical layer to the exploration and battle in this wasteland, wonderland. A reminder of the bizarre and beautiful and brutal coexisting. And then these Death Valley Girls tracks, again, it's just another perfect album. Feels like it was made there. Primus has got some great tracks that are good for this shit. We Are Scientists, again, you see the themes in the fucking, and again, you know, it's not as if this shit was made for Fallout, but it's the kind of shit that was influenced by the same shit that Fallout was influenced. Those influences I mentioned earlier, you know? Bus Driver's post-apocalyptic rap blues. You know, I said it goes all genres on this list. Kaleo, Voice of the Wasteland. Come on. No Good and Way Down We Go. Broken Bones, Glass House, Hot Blood. You know, I don't know what they're saying, but it feels like they're talking about fucking broken cities, testaments of survival, haunting melodies. David Byrne and the Quirks of Utopia. Every Day is a Miracle in Dog's Mind. Byrne's knack for blending the mundane with the profound offers a bizarrely fitting soundtrack. This Is That. It's Not Dark Up Here. Bullet. Everybody's Coming to My House. Followed up by Nuclear by Mike Oldfield. As a closing note, Nuclear stands out as a hauntingly beautiful and grim reminder of the core of this whole thing. And then some of the best stuff to fit in this, because I feel like Gary Newman might have been influenced by Fallout itself. In the blasted landscapes where the remnants of humanity scrounge for existence, Gary Newman's Savage, Songs from a Broken World. Newman's album, with its haunting synth melodies and dystopian narratives, becomes a sonic odyssey that explores the essence of survival in a world reclaimed by sand and sorrow. I mean, if you look at the album art for this, I mean, it looks very Fallout. Ghost Nation, The First Steps into the Wasteland, Bed of Thorns, My Name is Ruin, The End of Things, When the World Comes Apart, Mercy, What God Intended, Pray for the Pain You Serve, Broken. And then imagine, if you will, a vault hidden deep beneath the rubble of the old world, not filled with guns, food, or even bottle caps, but with vinyl records. These aren't just any records, they're the Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox, a musical collective renowned for catapulting modern pop hits back into the golden age of jazz, swing, and soul. This ensemble takes today's chart toppers and reimagines them as if they were birthed in the smoky clubs and cotton candy fairs of the early 20th century. In the same vein, yet with a dollop more of satirical zest, we have Richard Cheese and his lounge against the machine, while Bradley dresses contemporary hits in the finery of past eras. Cheese dips them in the martini of lounge music, serving them with a side of cheeky irreverence. Where Bradley's renditions invoke a heartfelt nostalgia, Cheese's covers lean into the absurdity of juxtaposing the modern with the timeless, creating an auditory smirk. It's cool music. It's just fun in the middle of a battle or something, especially if it's getting stressful or heated, and you hear that fucking jazzy hey ya, it's fun. You get the metal and the thrash, and then you get the dubstep by shuffling it up. And I mean, you can listen to it in order, and you hear the albums in order and stuff. I love, one of my favorite curations to do are playlists. I love putting playlists together, again, either for soundtracks or gaming or activities or concepts. I got a whole Cash Rules Everything Around Me mix that's just like, Cream, different versions of Cream, the Wu-Tang song, and then songs that reference Cream, songs that like kind of have the same meaning as Cream. And again, you shuffle that, and it's really cool. You just kind of keep hearing this idea phrased different ways, and like, the beat a bunch of different ways. I hate like a badly curated mix. Like you're sitting there and it's like a top 40 thing, a repetitive rap thing, a random Red Hot Chili Peppers song, a fucking random 90s thing, another top 40 thing, another top 40 thing. It'll fuck up a vibe. I'm a vibe guy. That's my favorite thing to curate are vibes, That's what I do here with movies and music and ideas and what have you. But anyway, in other words, I'm totally psyched for this Fallout TV series. And I care about it so much that I'm getting this out behind schedule. I wanted to get this out immediately. But I care about this stuff so much. A person who's usually so irreverent, this, again, to me is like a religion, But what's your take? Are we facing a synthetic storm or a unity uprising? Drop your bets and theories below. What Fallout means to you, what you think of this new show. I hit up my cousin. I think he's Osoro Devlin on here or whatever. But my younger cousin, he's like, I gotta see more, and I'm just like, they gave you everything except the plot in this movie, man. Or not movie, this show. I keep having to kick myself and remember that this is going to be a freaking show. Again, I'm psyched. Tell me what you think. This is Cory the Curator, your fellow vault dweller in the wilds of imagination, reminding you, war never changes. I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. Stay snide.
That was nice.